Definitely a big derby game. It means a lot to both clubs, both sets of supporters, and really I hope there is a lot of goals today and a real crackerjack game.
It really is crucial for both teams, but more so for Heidelberg. They haven't won in 6 weeks.
Yeah, that's right. From all reports, they've been playing quite well, just the results haven't been coming their way. But, you know, a big derby game like this, the form book's out the window, anything can happen. I mean, the first 20 minutes I'm expecting a really tough encounter, and anything could happen after that.
You've been in the dressing room, you know the feeling. What's it like?
Oh, the boys are keyed up. They love playing in these games, coming out and playing in front of 10,000 people. I mean, these are the games you want to play every year, and the boys are very keyed up.
On a personal note, you're on the comeback trail as well?
Yeah, we're getting there, Andy, we're getting there.
Yes, he played a game today in the youth encounter between both sides. So without any further ado, let's check the team lineups. Heidelberg United have made 2 changes to the side, which drew 0-0 against Sydney CSC last week. Number 4, Doug Hodgson, has made an amazing recovery from illness, while midfielder Phil Stubbins returns from suspension. Heidelberg have drawn 4 of their last 6 games and are desperate for a win. Well, it was only 2 weeks ago that Doug Hodgson was carried off this field, suffering a severe bout of dehydration. His muscle breakdown could have been so much more serious, but for the alertness of the medical officials here, amazingly, he's turning out today. But I would think with such a crucial game here, that's one of the big reasons. Just the one alteration to South Melbourne's team, with number 3, David Healy, in for the suspended Danny Wright. The rest of the side played in last week's 2-1 win against Adelaide City, although Socceroo midfielder Mike Petersen is on the bench. He's been ill for the past 2 weeks. What a moment for the young 22-year-old goalkeeper of South Melbourne, Dean Anastasiadis. He made his first team debut just last week. His second match in the Coca-Cola Soccer League is in the big derby between South Melbourne and Heidelberg United. And 42-year-old Perth referee David Mortimer gets us underway here at Olympic Village. Heidelberg United running from the left to the right-hand side of our screens. They've been waiting a long time for this game. It's taken until round 9 to pit these 2 teams together. Last season, it was a real battle here, with South Melbourne the victors by 3-1. And of course, they were also victorious by 5-2. Some interesting changes. We didn't touch on that before the game, but I would think Doug Hodgson's comeback, Angie, is a real surprise.
Obviously, it's a bit of a problem spot this year, that centre-back spot for Heidelberg, and with Dougie just coming back and training during the week, I think Gary decided to take the punt with him and play him today.
There's been a lot of talk in the media down here, and I would think right around Australia, about the war of words, which started with the Heidelberg president, Peter Tsolakis, who said they'd batter them out of the game. But I think that was more more of a publicity gimmick more than anything else, and it certainly worked. A great crowd here, and South Melbourne eager to maintain their position in the top 6, as Derek Hunter made a pretty good run through the middle. And you've been with the boys all week, and for many of them, particularly the younger ones, it's you could say the game of their lives.
Oh, definitely. I mean, as I said before the game, this is the game that all players want to play in, so it's obviously going to be a bit of a nerve-wracking experience. And the first 10-15 minutes, it's going to take a while for especially a few of the ones that are playing their first derby game to settle down.
And no doubts, Angie, you would desperately love to be out there, and unfortunately, injuries have kept you on the sidelines for far too long. When do you expect to be staking a claim for your first team spot?
Oh, hopefully pretty soon, Andy. Everything's going really well. My biggest obstacle from now on, I think, will be trying to win a place in the team, because the team's playing really well. But, you know, I'm healthy, and that's the most important thing at the moment.
Yes, and that's a very good point indeed, because there's no Wright or Hasler out there, and there's certainly a pretty healthy squad at South Melbourne as the header gets away. Yes, there was a bit of an obstruction there by Peter Tsolakis. Interesting for him today. He's up against his best mate, Joe Palatsides, who was best man at his wedding only a few months ago. And there'll be no love lost between those 2 boys. And also, you could talk about the likes of Durakovic and Petersen, the old Port Melbourne boys. But no fireworks as yet. It's been a pretty slow start, you could say. 2.5 minutes in here. This is their 32nd encounter in the Coca-Cola Soccer League, as the youngster number 10, Danny Gnjidic, who's playing his second game in the Coca-Cola Soccer League. The ball forward by Brattan, and it falls now for Clarkson, and a bit of lack of communication there. Good interception though from Bordignon. There's some pressure here for South Melbourne. MacNicol's on his right here. Muscat in in front of him. In comes the cross. Will this be the test for Anastasiadis? It could well be! Off the crossbar from Gnjidic. The flag was up though, wasn't it, Angie?
No,
it wasn't. It looked like they were pointing, but there, the youngster Gnjidic, who made his debut last week, and this was a fine bit of work, wasn't it?
Oh, an excellent cross, and Derek Hunter did very well to win the header, and what an unbelievable piece of thinking there. He's back to goal, didn't even control it, just first time, and really if that had gone in the goal, it might have been in, because Dean didn't have much clue there. It was such a good turn.
And perhaps young Dean Anastasiadis might have been better off to come out for that cross, but what a start from Heidelberg. Well, I said earlier there was no fireworks. There certainly was on that occasion, and there would have been a bit of a heart flutter for you, Angie.
Yeah, I don't like to see him go that close, Andy, but, you know, it's a good start by Heidelberg, and as I said, the first 15-20 minutes is going to prove a lot out here today.
That was an interesting attempt, really, because for someone so young and for someone who doesn't have that much experience at this level of competition, that really took some guts. As Wade's more speculation than an intended pass, but Awaritefe there, and he passed the late fitness test as well. Now Stephen Tasios lines it up, and not a bad shot. Is it going to curl in? It won't. A good save in the end, really, from Olver, because it would have been a hard one to save. And what a game already, 4.5 minutes in. South Melbourne respond in typical fashion.
Yeah, great chance there. Stevie Test taking the ball in his stride, and with this win, I expect Tasios to try a few more. South Melbourne to try a few more shots, but a great save by Jeff Olver.
What a game already here in Olympic Village. In comes the cross. A good header away, but straight to Muscat though. Now Tsolakis looks around, finds the support, and this isn't a bad run, but it's skewed well wide in the end. And again, Stephen Tasios involved in the thick of the action.
Yeah, he did very well again. Good ball by Peter Tsolakis to put him through. We're going to have to watch Steve Tasios. He's very good coming from deep in the midfield, and it's someone they're going to have to pick up.
And the pitch out there is pretty heavy. There's been some inclement weather in the lead up to this game. That obviously will have a telling effect on some of these players that are coming back in to the team.
Oh, definitely. And with the wind as well, it's going to be difficult to play attractive soccer, but both sides have started very well.
Boutsianis, the touch on, a good one for Tasios. Now Wade and Tasios, good play from South Melbourne. Now Tsolakis. Well worth a try from there though.
If you've got a shot like Peter Tsolakis has, you definitely try from there with this wind. But again, Stevie Tasios involved in the move along with Paul Wade. They're going to have to start picking up Heidelberg because the Hellas midfielders are getting free there.
Well, we expected a game of drama, and they certainly haven't let us down out there. The 22 players are certainly putting on a real spectacle. Although Heidelberg have got to pick up the runners, they're not marking tightly in defence at this stage.
No, that's an important point. Those midfielders have got to be picked up very tightly.
Now Healy away, thrown on that far side. Gives us a bit of a chance to have a bit of a breather in the commentary position. And we're right in the thick of it too, I can tell you, in amongst the fans. Getting a good feel of this big derby here. And what a shame we don't have matches like this every week in the league where we can come to a real game of quality and class. Although in saying that, there's been some great spectacles already in our match of the day this year, but there's the back pass rule! Oh, it almost cost him dearly. Oh, gee. That really is the most amazing sequence ever since the back pass rule has come in. Olver should have cleared.
Unbelievable, Andy. That's where Francis is so alert. Anytime a goalkeeper tries to control the ball, he's going to be under pressure there. Really, I think Jeff might have been better off just booting it clear. But Francis sized up the situation very well, and it was unlucky that went wide.
Well, I said we might have a bit of a breather, but I think I better turn up the pacemaker. Might have to see the doctor after this game. It's only 7 minutes in already. 3 opportunities for South Melbourne as Boutsianis tries one on the turn. Boutsianis in fine form this year. They used to call him Super Sub.
Yeah, he's done very well this year, and he's got a permanent place in the team, and he's scored 4 goals already this year and had a hand in a couple of others. And really, he's one that's kicked on very well for South Melbourne this year.
So some anxious moments for Jeffrey Olver. He'll be thinking twice next time. He had a great game last week at the Croatian Sports Centre against Sydney CSC, largely responsible for his team's 0-0 draw. And it just shows you the commitment of the derby, as Bordignon didn't hold back. And part of the healthy crowd here, it's always a pretty hard one to predict. Angie, you prepared to speculate?
I think it'll be, by the time everyone's in here, by about close to 10,000, I think.
And they won't be disappointed if the first few moments are any indication. The young Socceroo captain, Kevin Muscat, is in camp on Monday, along with 21 other players, as David Mortimer lays down the law. This is a pretty healthy position for South Melbourne. And Boutsianis. In it comes, Olver comes out, and there's the goal! A great goal, the big man's done it! Stephen Blair, the captain, breaks the deadlock 9 minutes in.
Yeah, did very well, Andy. Big Stevie Blair doesn't get many goals, but when he does, he gets important ones. And great ball in by Boutsianis. And Stevie Blair's courageous as ever. Then we'll see on the replay. As courageous as ever. Met the challenge by Jeff Olver and put the ball into the empty net. A great goal, great goal.
And Stephen Blair, who's played 331 games, he scores his 12th goal. And that'll probably be one of the most sweetest ones he'll score. The big derby game here, South Melbourne. And I must admit the pressure really was telling on the Heidelberg defence. And from the set piece it came. South Melbourne are on 13 points. And with West Adelaide and Marconi Fairfield winning yesterday, want to maintain the pressure on the front runners of the league. And sitting in 6th position, I think that Jim Pagolios would be fairly happy with that.
Oh, not too bad, Andy, but the South Melbourne team hasn't been a bit inconsistent. We've looked really good at times, and we've dropped some games that we shouldn't really have dropped. So it'll be good to get some consistency and getting 2 or 3 wins in a row.
Olver's ready, so's Tsolakis. And it comes again. Up was Blair, the overhead from Boutsianis, was it? And it looked like it was too. That's the second attempt from Boutsianis. That one was a bit closer. It wasn't a bad corner kick, really. Yeah, and again, Steve Blair causing a bit of problems in the air, and Boutsianis going for this spectacular overhead, but something they're going to have to watch, Heidelberg. They haven't got many big players at the back, and Steve Blair and Paul Wade and Francis are all very good in the air, so something they're going to have to get very tight on all set pieces. And I would think that was something that they would have been working on during the week too. Oh, definitely, yeah. Now Hodgson. Gnjidic, touch on, backboard. Gnjidic, who struck the woodwork earlier on. Stubbins, looks across, finds MacNicol. Takes a bit of a deflection. Anastasiadis, confusion, a lack of communication. And they were almost punished for it. Now Palatsides. The ball through for Stubbins. And Durakovic was shielding the ball away, but Dean Anastasiadis, maybe a bit of nerves there. Maybe someone had called for it.
Definitely, as you see on the replay, it took a bit of deflection, and then Paul Wade ran across his path, so really Dean couldn't do much about that one.
Now inside for MacNicol. Not many options ahead of him. And that wasn't the best of balls from Goutzioulis. And there's the free man Bordignon on the right, but it goes even wider. Clarkson. And straight into Muscat, but now Bordignon. I thought he should have lined it up. This time he does. And they just scramble it away now. Tasios' header went straight to Hodgson, though. There'll be more pressure on South Melbourne. Durakovic away. Muscat just tapping it out of play. They'll reorganise now. Pressure momentarily off. 15 minutes into this first half. South Melbourne leading here at Olympic Village in the big derby. As the ball goes through, Gnjidic is there again, saves Anastasiadis! And the shot in the end, wide of the mark. Well, Danny Gnjidic is in the thick of the action. He claims it went out for a corner, but there again, the opportunity.
Yeah, it did very well. Dean a bit undecided there, had to throw himself at the ball in the end, but they're causing a few problems with those high balls into the area, and with this wind, the ball is holding up. So, and they're challenging everything, so the Health defenders are going to have to be really wary of that. But Dean as well, he'll have to come off his line a lot more assertive, but he was a bit unlucky there, but with this wind, it's going to be a problem.
Midway through the first half, South Melbourne are leading by that Stephen Blair header in the 9th minute. After the match opened, with both teams throwing themselves into the fray, and before that, Gnjidic hit the crossbar for Heidelberg, and Tasios with a couple of attempts, as well as Tsolakis. Good little nudge on for Healy. Awaritefe free at this stage. Palatsides had thrown himself to the tackle. That'll be a booking, I think. It is the first booking in the derby. Goutzioulis goes into the book, and Goutzioulis also a man who played some junior football at South Melbourne.
Yeah, a bit of a reckless challenge there by Angie. He saw that Francis had got past Dougie Hodgson and was away, and decided to bring him down, so really a booking was warranted there.
And you can hear the calls coming out from the former Socceroo keeper, Jeffrey Olver. The big men are in there again. In it comes, away by Palatsides. Boutsianis though, now Bordignon. And I think he might be signalling... Well, I thought perhaps the referee was signalling a handball against Bordignon. I'll just check that. It's probably a throw-in anyway. Yes, it is. It was accidental either way. Trimboli, nice little overhead. Tsolakis came through. Now Blair! And it's going to go in. It is! Wow! Stephen Blair! He'll be credited with the goal. 26 minutes into this game, and Stephen Blair scores his 13th goal in his 332nd appearance. Just one of a few men who have played more than 300 games. He'll never forget today.
Yeah, great throwing by Boutsianis. Bit of magic from Paul Trimboli there. And I think it was Tsolakis coming through, and Stevie Blair had the last hit and took a deflection, went in. But that's another great goal for Stevie Blair. Doesn't get many. As I said, that's probably more than he's had, 2-in-1 game, more than he's had for the past couple of seasons. So he'll be wrapped tonight, and hopefully Hells will keep it going now.
Well, so unlucky for Phil Stubbins. He was the man who was behind Olver, and if he wasn't there, would have gone straight in. But they've really got their homework to do now, Heidelberg. But now Heidelberg fighting hard. But is it hard enough? In comes that cross again by MacNicol. Much deeper. The ball inside for Danny, and it took a deflection away. Well played, really. That was a nice move from Heidelberg. The best bit of action we've seen from them in this game.
Yeah, Brian MacNicol's causing a little bit of problems. He's knocked some 3 or 4 good crosses in. And this was a great cross, as we see on the replay, to the far post. Derek Hunter did extremely well to cut it back, and Danny Gnjidic was there again. But Mehmet Durakovic, probably the best tackler in Australia, there to block his effort.
30 minutes in, and a lovely take again from Anastasiadis. They all climbed high like Goutzioulis footballers, and Anastasiadis, he'll be absolutely happy with his performance in the last 15 or 20 minutes. Was the game well promoted in the week?
Yeah, Andy, I mean, obviously the big derby, you don't need to do too much publicity, but it has been promoted well in the newspapers and on, on SBS with yourself, so the crowd certainly knew it was on, and with teams in both teams fairly good form. I mean, South Melbourne coming off a win, and Heidelberg getting a good draw away from home. Both set of supporters were optimistic before the game, so I think that brought the good crowd out as well.
And no doubts Jim Pergolios would be a pretty happy man at this stage. Two games played last night, and wasn't there some goals scored in those? West Adelaide went to Brisbane. They were down 2-0, but they ran out victors by 5-3. And at Marconi Stadium, Marconi defeated Morwell Falcons 2-0. That West Adelaide result, an interesting one.
Yeah, I'd love to see the tape of that game, but they're doing very well, West Adelaide. They've picked up some good players, and obviously Raul Blanco's lifted the club a lot, so I think they're one to watch out for the year. I think people thought they were pretenders at the beginning, but they've stuck it out and they're still at the top there, so it's a team to watch out for.
And the team that they've touted as the championship favourite, South Melbourne, are looking the goods here at Olympic Village, leading by 2 goals. Stubbins, the ball across. Head on by Gnjidic, and that wasn't too far away from its intended target from Hunter. And it just underlines the danger of this Heidelberg team.
Oh, definitely, Andy. I mean, there we go. Another good cross in. Gnjidic knocking it across, and Derek Hunter again with a good header. He just went over the bar. And really, 2-0 is a very uncomfortable scoreline for South Melbourne as well, because if Heidelberg do get 1 goal, then they're right back in this game. So, you know, Heidelberg are looking dangerous on the counter-attack, and Hellas will have to really keep an eye on both Gnjidic and Hunter, who look dangerous every time the ball's gone in the box.
The South Melbourne midfield is looking really good.
Yeah, they're clicking together well. Peter Tsolakis had an outstanding first half, I think, on the right-hand side, and Stevie Tasios is getting himself forward and creating problems, and Paul Waite's, you know, getting through a ton of work as usual, and that's where I think South Melbourne's probably just got the edge over Heidelberg at the moment. Heidelberg tend to be chasing them rather than starting, you know, initiating play on their own. But the second half with the win might change that.
If you were in Gary Cole's shoes, what would you be doing?
Oh, that's a tough one,
Put you on the spot.
Yeah, but obviously you can't do too much. I mean, 45 minutes gone, but 45 minutes to go. He's got George Slifkas on the bench, who's a very good midfielder. Maybe bring him in and release Angie Goutzioulis or Phil Stubbins to a more attacking role.
Palatsides, one of his rare forays forward. Awaritefe came with him. He thought perhaps he might have got a free kick there. The referee said no. Tasios now slaying it off for Awaritefe. It goes well and truly out of play. So just on 30 seconds left of normal time. Joe Palatsides, 27-year-old rep for Umbro. Now Bordignon. Yes, he was always going to run out of space. Derek Hunter. He was the top scorer last year for Heidelberg with 6 goals. Born in Glasgow. Had previously played with Sunshine, and he scored 21 goals in 75 games. It's a good strike rate. And there he is there. He was hoping for MacNicol claims of handball. The referee says no. And consequently now it's a throw-in for South Melbourne. Part of the big gallery here at Olympic Village. They saw such a stunning opening to the game, didn't they? Brattan keeping his cool. Oh, beautiful turn by MacNicol, the best turn in the game so far. But Wade came back to cover, and then Muscat, he redeems himself. Healy away for Boutsianis, flags down. And Bordignon just nudging it out. Just on a minute of stoppages so far. Heidelberg just cannot afford to take any risks now. They'll want to make sure they can keep South Melbourne just to this 2-0 scoreline. Trimboli's curler inside. Too much on that. And there, in fact, is the whistle, and a good first half for your team, Ange Postecoglou.
Yeah, got to be happy at half-time, 2-0 up. But like I said before, uncomfortable scoreline, and if Heidelberg do get one goal, they're back in it. So it's going to be an interesting 45 minutes, I think. And Heidelberg do have the win in the second half.
They certainly do. So at half-time here at Olympic Village, the score is 2-0. We'll be back in a moment, but before we do, here are some progressive scores from the other matches. Slifkas, the former Olver who played in Barcelona, enters the fray here at Olympic Village. He's come on now for Angie Goutzioulis. There's been some concern from some of the Heidelberg people who were telling me before the game they want to see a bit more work from George Slifkas, and Ange Postecoglou, he doesn't get a better chance to impress.
No, well, this is it. If he can bring him back from 2-0 down, he'll impress everybody. But I think it's a good move by Gabe because I think it'll release Phil Stubbins and Brian MacNicol a bit more forward, and George Slifkas can do the anchor work in the midfield.
And already South Melbourne starting on a bit of a positive over here, but Palatsides tagged by his really good mate in Tsolakis. Good run from him, and well, I thought Wade went for the ball a little bit there. It was right in front of us. How did you see that one, Ange?
Yeah, but I think the referee was in a better position. He may have impeded him slightly, so the referee decided to give the benefit of the doubt to Joe there.
Okay, you're looking after the referees today, Ange. I won't argue with you.
Yeah, mate, I want to play again. So.
You want to play again. Didn't get a chance to remind everyone at half-time that tonight at 12:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, there's the big one. Anastasiadis, yes, a good recovery. The big one, AC Milan against Juventus. That's live and exclusive on SBS. AC Milan against Juventus. If you don't already know, that's on tonight, 12:15 a.m. And of course, next Saturday in Fremantle, the SBS Youth Challenge gets underway. The Young Socceroos against Brazil on December the 9th in Canberra, the 11th in Newcastle, and the 15th in Sydney. The Young Socceroos going to camp tomorrow, Monday morning at Parkley in Sydney, and the squad will be trimmed down from 22 to 18. The captain, of course, is out there at the moment. Boutsianis feeling the effects of that challenge. And I just wonder whether the opening exchanges in the second half will be like the first half.
I think it'd be pretty hard to, but I think I've definitely got to see Heidelberg coming out and attacking the South Melbourne defence now and putting him under a bit of pressure. They've got the wind behind them, they're 2-0 down, and really they've got nothing to lose. So, you know, I expect Heidelberg to be pushing many men forward, which will probably leave them susceptible to a counter-attack as well.
And there's certainly the runners ready for that counter if it comes on. Olver gets it on the second and third attempt. And that wind really causing some bother for both keepers today. Stubbins, the new player in Slifkas down the line. Slifkas couldn't get in ahead of Healy. Tsolakis aiming for Awaritefe. Hodgson, who took a bit of a knock in that first half, he's recovered sufficiently, although he gave it to Trimboli. And that's some commitment coming in from Brattan. Hodgson. Durakovic. His commitment there paying off. This is the 32nd encounter between both sides. South Melbourne have won 13 games. Heidelberg have won 10 games. Naturally enough, well, I should say 9 games have ended in draws. No, my mathematics was correct. It's 10 games ended in draws, but South Melbourne certainly have the wood on Heidelberg. It's been a frustrating time, really, for Heidelberg. 4 draws in their last 6 games. And any other time, when there wasn't 3 points up for grabs, it would have resulted in them having a bit more of a stable position. But they are second from the bottom. 3 teams on 7 points. They're one of them. And the sad fact of it now is it's really all or nothing. Boutsianis inside for Trimboli. They can move quickly here. It's 4-on-3. Trimboli. And he was aimed for the switch. Favourable deflection for Awaritefe. Boutsianis is in the box. Tasios is free on the far left. Awaritefe inside. Tasios couldn't get there, but Tsolakis can. He looks up. That's not a bad shot at all. It took a deflection as well. And Peter Tsolakis, a big game for him. A point to prove too, I would think, for the likes of Tsolakis and Tasios.
Oh, definitely. I mean, look at the bench. You see Mickey Petersen there. You've got the Socceroo midfielder on the bench. So they're out to prove that they're good enough to be in this lineup. And both have done really well today. Peter Tsolakis, unlucky there. Good challenge to force the ball go wide, but a good move from South Melbourne. Picked it up on the halfway line, and Trimboli and Awaritefe involved, and then finally Peter Tsolakis with the shot. All goes well for the rest of the game.
Yes, you mentioned that they'd have to counter Heidelberg, and that left them exposed to the back, as we saw there. Hodgson away again. Tsolakis, that'll stay in. Look at that ball. It's just sitting up in the air. Trimboli nudging it back, and now Tsolakis! And did it take a touch? No, the ref says. Oh, the pressure right on Heidelberg.
And Jeff Olver's finding out what tough time Dean had with that wind in the first half, because any ball that's going in their box is just hanging in there, and nothing is going through to the goalkeeper. So it's something that Heidelberg will have to watch out. And France is unlucky not to get on to the end of that Peter Tsolakis shot in the end.
Muscat away, Palatsides. The shirt pulling, the referee stops play for the obvious. And I just think that maybe Phil Stubbins will have a go. We're at the midway mark in the second half.
Yeah, I think he's got to have a go from there, Andy. This is the distance we were talking about before, and you know, if you try a shot, anything can happen. The goalkeeper might see it late, so you've got to have a go with the wind behind you.
So David Clarkson and Phil Stubbins over the ball. The wall has set 4 men in it, as well as Doug Hodgson. Clarkson leaves it, Stubbins straight in the wall. Hodgson has the chase. He's pulled up very well after that really serious problem that he had here a couple of weeks ago. The change will be made. And it's Boutsianis coming off.
Actually, here's the other one that was hobbling. I think he got a knock a bit earlier on, so maybe Jimmy's pulling him off for a precautionary measure. I think you'll find Peter Tsolakis will go out to the left now, and Mickey Petersen will come into the right of midfield.
Well, if he's not injured, that is a bit of a surprising change, because Boutsianis had looked really dangerous down that left, particularly since the restart.
Yeah, he had a very good game, actually. He was causing a few problems to Heidelberg.
Now Wade. Looking for Tsolakis. Tasios up. Wade there again. Nice overhead by Slifkas. Muscat. Throwing himself at the ball. And a good switch. MacNicol. He's got the legs. Yes, he has. And the cross just wasn't good enough, though. Muscat away. Tsolakis. MacNicol and Muscat. And it's a throw-in for Heidelberg. South Melbourne are leading by 2-0. There's 20 minutes left. Muscat there again, now Tsolakis. Awaritefe and Hodgson, the Lone Rangers at the moment. But now Brattan, the captain, back there. Wade. That was an interesting clearance from the Socceroo. South Melbourne now with Awaritefe. Tsolakis looks up. Tasios, the shot. Oh, that was ever so close. And I thought it was going in, actually.
Yeah, I was looking for the ball to hit the back of the net then. Good ball in by Mickey P. Another good challenge by Francis to knock it down. And there we have it on the replay. And good vision by Peter Tsolakis to see Stevie Tass coming through. Hit it as well as he could have, kept it low, but just missed the target on the left-hand side.
You'll get a better look at it with this replay. Good header by Awaritefe getting up there. Tsolakis, nice control in the box. And there's the strike from Tasios. Muscat. Aiming long for Tsolakis. That didn't come off at all. Palatsides getting in there. That's the way they've got to be committed. As equally committed as Tasios was too. Look at this. Now Trimboli. Some great challenges coming in, Angie.
Yeah, they're not giving up, the Heidelberg boys, and that's what a derby's all about.
Stubbins lines it up. No threat at all. Some may say that it should have gone a bit further and then let go with the rocket. Let go with the rocket. It rolled favourably. It rolled favourably.
Yeah, he had nothing to lose there by trying the shot. Unfortunately, he got under it and went over the bar slightly wide. But you know, you can tell the frustration that's coming through now through the Heidelberg players. They know they need something special, and obviously it's very hard now to get something special, so they'll try anything. But it'll be a difficult last 10 minutes for them.
I just suspect that maybe Palatsides might be thrust into a more attacking role just on 12 minutes of normal time left. Now Mike Petersen. Tasios. And Slifkas. Trimboli deserved a bit more for his brilliant work. And there's a lovely switch. Stubbins and Blair, but Stubbins just put too much on it. If you've just tuned in, South Melbourne are leading Heidelberg United 2-0 at Olympic Village. 10.5 minutes of normal time left for Heidelberg to get back in there, and perhaps for South Melbourne just to put the issue beyond reach. Tsolakis, Awaritefe, and that shadow that's been there all day, Hodgson.
Yeah, it's been an interesting battle. Doug Hodgson's done very well, actually, to keep Francis under a tight rein. You know, but Francis hasn't given up. He's battled for every ball, and really they've come out even at the end of the day.
Now MacNicol, 3 South Melbourne players there, and Durakovic gets it away. Yeah, it's been a fairly quiet day, really, for Mehmet. Durakovic hasn't had too much to do. Tasios, Awaritefe. Wade and Trimboli. Tsolakis. And just maybe they should have looked for Awaritefe a bit earlier. Heidelberg are down, but certainly not out. Really given it their all in the second half to try and just get back into this game. Slifkas looks up again. Hodgson. Palatsides up from the centre of the defence. There was Palatsides fighting, but now Petersen. Trimboli. They move the ball around very well indeed, don't they? South Melbourne with Awaritefe breaking. Back inside, behind Tsolakis though, who'll chase and get there. Slifkas right on his back. Now Muscat. Wade. Stubbins. And Tasios finally gets it away. Now Trimboli. Tsolakis has played a very interesting organising role since that change with Petersen coming on. Trimboli right in the thick of it. Now Tsolakis. Oh! What a chance to put one away against your old club.
Yeah, a bit unlucky there, Peter. I think he just slipped the ball, got a bit away from him. Great move by Paul Trimboli, though. I mean, I know we said he looked a bit puffy before, but maybe that's just the way he runs, Andy, because he's playing really well at the moment. He's turning them inside out. And like I said, a bit unlucky for Peter Tsolakis.
In the meantime, a booking. So 38 minutes are up. Yes, Paul Wade gets a yellow. Didn't think it was that bad. Anastasiadis safety first tactics. The desired effect. MacNicol. Seen a lot of the ball in this game. Great turn by Slifkas. And the two-goal hero Blair just clearing it. Gnjidic. Need his experience, skill, enterprise. He's played in a couple of European Cup finals, represented Scotland at all levels, including the World Youth Championships against Australia. And he's played for clubs like Ajax. Hodgson's long ball, really no chance for Palatsides. That's virtually it, I think. Can't see Heidelberg getting back, really.
No, it's very difficult for him, as I said before. You know, you get frustrated, things that just aren't going your way, and you try to look for something special, but you know it's very hard to get there. So you know, I think South Melbourne's doing well to close the game up and trying to keep possession now, and I think they'll see the game out as it is.
And we just saw the youngster John Verikakis warming up on the sideline. And they tell me another fine product to look out for as well.
Excellent prospect, Andy. He's come on a couple of times last week against Adelaide City and did very well. Very quick and very talented young player.
Now there's 5 minutes of normal time left. South Melbourne are leading 2-0. 3 points almost certainly going their way. Petersen's free kick. Olver comes out. A great take by the former Socceroo keeper. Gnjidic. And Wade keeping a close check on him. MacNicol. Looking for Palatsides. And it looked like a bit of a nudge, really, didn't it?
Yeah, but I think
Joe tried to milk it a bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. A bit unlucky there.
Actors' equity will be on his back later. But then again, we noticed on a few occasions Heidelberg really try their best to get back in the hunt, but it's such a tough ask to come back after conceding 2 goals after 25-26 minutes.
Yeah, it's always difficult in the conditions, you know, and you're playing against a side who's obviously in form, being Adelaide City last week and now, you know, winning their second game in a row. So it was always going to be a difficult ask, and with the 2-goal deficit, probably just a bit too hard for them today.
Well, South Melbourne only had 4 points from the first 4 games, and they now find themselves with 4 wins out of their last 5 games. So a good recovery from your team, Angie.
Yeah, like I said, we were looking for a bit of consistency. We were very up and down. Games we played really well, and then, you know, drop some games that really we shouldn't. And, you know, it's good to get a couple of wins in a row. And with the 3-point system, you just rocket up that ladder nowadays. So, now we've got another home game next week, which is obviously very important against Melbourne CSC. You know, 3 points there will get us firmly entrenched in that 6.
Slifkas. Now Gnjidic. Deep searching ball for MacNicol. Palatsides is over there with him at the moment. He'll cross it back inside though. Wade missed it, but not Healy. Now Palatsides. Joe Palatsides, his shot well blocked by another one of his good mates out there in Durakovic. Palatsides is there again. The ball, a deep one, Dick. Nudging it back. The layoff. And then momentum just dying a little bit. Dick again. Ball has it. And the young man again. I really am impressed with this player, Gnjidic. Just his second game in the Coca-Cola Soccer League.
Yeah, it could have been a much different day for him, Andy. If you remember that early shot in the first half where he's hit the crossbar. If that had have gone in, who knows? You know, he may have got a couple more, but that's the way things go, and he'll have to learn that at this level you don't get many chances. And like you said, he's impressed me. He's done nothing really that's done his team any harm, that's for sure. So, you know, he'll learn from this experience, definitely.
Yes, and he came across to Heidelberg from Faulkner. He scored 11 goals in the Victorian State League, but he didn't play a full season. He came ever so close on 2 or 3 occasions today. Just over, yes, just about a minute left of normal time. Can Heidelberg get a consolation? Not there. And just in case you don't know, later on tonight, 12:15 in the morning, AC Milan versus Juventus, live and exclusive to SBS. The game that everyone has been talking about this week. And so many outstanding players will be on show there. It'll be the same story next Saturday at Fremantle when the SBS Youth Challenge featuring the young Socceroos in Brazil, that begins a 4-match series. An important hit out for our team as they virtually are going through their final preparations, final stages of preparations for the FIFA Coca-Cola Cup next March. A great week of soccer ahead, and also I should point out there's some cup games on Wednesday night. I did have the sheet in front of me, and I suspect it might have blown away in this wind.
Well, I can tell you we're playing up in Morwell.
South Melbourne are playing.
Andy, yeah, that's right.
Sydney Olympic are playing Brisbane in Brisbane. And there's another game in Melbourne.
I think it's Preston and Melbourne CSC.
Yes, that's right, yeah. At Connor Reserve. So for the soccer fans, there's plenty to look forward to. And today, I don't think the fans will be disappointed from South Melbourne.
Well, yeah, depending what team you support.
Yes, naturally enough, Heidelberg will be a bit upset. I know they had a few chances to salvage something from the game. Now Durakovic, a rare foray into the opposing half from him, and it's paying off so far. Awaritefe's in the centre. Oh! That's the second time we've seen it, Angie.
Yeah, it must be some little guy in the mud there that's sticking his head up every time and knocking these guys over. But that'll be one to keep for the end of the year presentation, I think, for Mehmet.
It certainly will. But it is, you know, in the defence of Mehmet, Durakovic and Peter Tsolakis and a couple of the Heidelberg boys, it's a pretty heavy pitch out there.
Yeah, it's a shifting surface, and really it's very hard to get a firm foot on the ground. So, you're obviously going to get players slipping over as in that situation.
We're virtually going through the motions. A minute and a half of stoppages. South Melbourne leading 2-0. The referee, David Mortimer, who's had a great game. He looks at his watch. It's all over. A great win for your team, Ange Postecoglou. 4 out of 5. You're in form now. You're back in it.
Yeah, they did very well today. I thought it was a very polished, professional performance. They never really looked like losing after getting that early goal. And really, it's a chance for them to kick on now for the next few weeks. You know, Heidelberg, obviously, it wasn't their day today. A couple of things went against them early on. They hit the crossbar. Could have been a different day, but in the end, I think Hell's proved to be the better side on the day.
To use the old cliche, soccer the winner today?
Oh, I think so. I think, you know, any impartial fan will say that, you know, there was plenty of action. The first half was tremendous. Both sides had a chance to score goals, and really when the 2-0 buffer happened for South Melbourne, they obviously closed the game down a little bit. But, yeah, the exhibition was there. Every player gave 100%, and at the end of the day, that's all you can ask for.
Certainly the camaraderie there, as you can see, those pictures, part of the huge crowd here. Ange Postecoglou, thank you very much for helping us out today at Match of the Day. Good luck in the future.
Thanks very much, Andy. Enjoyed it.